Very concerning storm is coming to the United States this week, and it will bring severe weather in the form of damaging winds, large to very large hail and tornadoes, in addition to locally heavy and torrential downpours, which could cause flooding. We're also looking at a major heat wave with record high temperatures building across the desert Southwest into the middle of this week, and the tropical update at the end of this video. So if you are here, make sure to subscribe to the channel, especially if you are not subscribed. We do daily weather forecast breakdowns right here on the channel daily. Make sure to like the video, give it a thumbs up to get this vital information spread to more and more people. Also share it with a friend, family member on social media. Definitely appreciate it in getting the word out. And if you have any comments, questions, and concerns, jot that down in the comment section down below this video. We are here 24/7 to answer any and all questions that you may have. Severe weather today, we have a slight risk where we have scattered severe thunderstorms possible in eastern Colorado, western Nebraska, including the Nebraska Panhandle, down here into western Kansas, with a marginal risk in dark green surrounding that where isolated severe thunderstorms are possible. Also seeing strong storms possible from Detroit, Toledo into Fort Wayne, Indiana, into Maine, and then down here with the tropical system Chantal into the eastern Carolinas, especially for eastern North Carolina from Norfolk down there toward Wilmington. The main threat here for today will be the high plains in northeast Colorado, southwestern Nebraska, and northwest Kansas. We could be seeing wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour with one or two of these storms, also capable of producing up to apple-size hail. So not only could you be seeing some wind damage with downed trees, power lines, and stuff like that, we could also see destructive hail that could actually cause damage to your vehicle. So make sure your vehicle is in a safe space, especially with the potential for apple-sized hail today, especially like a garage or a carport or something like that. And then a low but not zero tornado threat, a 2% chance of tornadoes in southwestern Nebraska, northeastern Colorado, and northwest Kansas. Also a lower tornado threat, 2% there into the Wilmington area, up toward Norfolk and eastern North Carolina with that tropical system that lingers. Now looking here at noon, we are pretty quiet across the plains. However, some locally heavy downpours are continuing across central Texas, unfortunately, in very similar areas that have been seeing the devastating flooding over the last few days. That heavy rainfall does continue. As we go into the afternoon, down here in Texas, the heavy rain does continue, so just be mindful of a significant flash flooding down here in spots. A couple rogue thunderstorms may develop along a cold front from Indiana, downstate Illinois into southern Missouri. Not really expecting a lot of severe weather with this, but some smaller hail and some frequent lightning may be possible with the stronger thunderstorm cells here. Otherwise, we're watching the supercells that form here by mid-afternoon, 2 to about 4 o'clock across southeastern Wyoming into northeast Colorado, initially posing a risk for some big hail up to apple size and a tornado risk. And then as those storms cluster up as they push into Nebraska, northwestern Kansas, that's where we're going to start to see the wind threat really start to increase, where we could see 70, perhaps even 75 mile per hour winds, which would be equivalent to a Category 1 hurricane. So that could cause some downed tree limbs, some downed trees in general, and some power outages out there as we go into the overnight hours going into Monday morning. Locally heavy downpours will accompany these storms. Could be seeing upwards to 1 or even 2 inches of rain. And note, there is scattered in nature, so there will be areas that miss out on a lot of the rain, and there could be areas that see up to 2 inches of rain, which could lead to some localized flash flooding. So be mindful of that. Just have an umbrella handy if you go out for any festivities to end the holiday weekend today across Nebraska, eastern Colorado, and northwestern Kansas. We up the ante on the severe weather tomorrow to start the new week, Monday, July 7th, an enhanced risk of severe weather. Notice this in similar areas, including much of west central Nebraska, northeastern Colorado, and up there into far southern South Dakota, where we have numerous severe thunderstorms likely in orange, slight risk in yellow, where scattered severe thunderstorms are possible, and then a marginal risk in dark green, stretching up into the upper Midwest of Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, western Iowa, all the way down into northeastern New Mexico, the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles, and as far west as Wyoming and Colorado. That's where isolated severe thunderstorms are possible in the dark green. Also watching a threat for isolated strong thunderstorms from northeastern portions of Ohio, northwestern Pennsylvania, western and upstate New York, and northwestern Vermont as well. Looking at the threat tomorrow, we're going to be seeing potential up to 80 mile per hour winds across portions of South Dakota into west central Nebraska, eastern Colorado, and western Kansas. Again, this could down tree limbs, power lines, and definitely even some power poles out there. there, and we actually could be seeing some significant hail upwards to apple size again from South Dakota into Nebraska, including the Nebraska Panhandle and northeastern Colorado. Rapid City, you're included here, North Platte, and all the way down just east of Denver. We have to be on high alert for that again tomorrow, and a more heightened risk of tornadoes compared to today for tomorrow. 5% chance of tornadoes in brown here into west central portions of Nebraska, including parts of the Nebraska Panhandle. In the green, that's a 2% chance of tornadoes within a 25-mile radius of any given location in or around this area. So here we go for your Monday morning at 7 a.m. Some rogue thunderstorms still persisting from overnight storms tonight into your Monday morning, and then as we go through the late morning hours, those will fizzle out, may re-intensify with some of those storms near Omaha or Des Moines as we go into your Monday afternoon, early afternoon between noon and 2 o'clock, and then we're watching initiation of storms back here to the west, and they'll explode with intensity as we go into the late afternoon hours after 3 o'clock and going into the early evening. So about 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock is the time to watch for big storms here into South Dakota, into Nebraska, Colorado, down into Kansas, and they could pose a risk for some significant damaging winds, significant hail, and a few tornadoes here as we go through the evening hours. Eventually, these storms will be pushing further to the east and southeast, arriving into areas like Dodge City, Kansas, into the Wichita area in the wee hours of the morning on Tuesday morning after midnight. And they will also have accompanied some very heavy rainfall with them, potentially 1 to 2 inches worth with an isolated 3-inch total. Not out of the question if we see a complex of storms develop. Otherwise, scattered thunderstorms will be possible. And again, not everybody will see these storms as we go into Tuesday morning. Over here into the northeast, especially closer to the Great Lakes region here of Lake Erie and up there into the portions of eastern Canada, we're watching a few stronger storms, especially tomorrow afternoon, anytime after the noon hour into about 3-4 o'clock. A few rogue isolated severe thunderstorms will be possible from northwestern Vermont, upstate and western portions of New York, northwest Pennsylvania, and then into northeastern Ohio. Strong wind gusts will be the main threat here, up to 60 miles per hour. Smaller hail, I don't foresee a hail threat being a big deal, and the tornado threat should stay low with not a lot of rotation up there. Going into Tuesday, July 8th, marginal risk where isolated severe thunderstorms are possible from portions of the eastern Texas Panhandle into Oklahoma, parts of Kansas, all the way up into Missouri, western Illinois, and southern Iowa, and then across portions of the eastern seaboard, including parts of the mid-Atlantic coast, including Jersey, up there towards Long Island, and Connecticut, all the way down to the Carolinas, including portions of South Carolina. We have the threat for isolated strong to severe storms on Tuesday. Here we go Tuesday morning. Remnant activity from Monday night continues into Tuesday morning, and then Monday afternoon, again, these storms will have a tendency to drop further south into the better instability and storm energy. So these storms will be developing there in the Central Plains and into parts of the mid-Mississippi Valley, and they'll be dropping into the Southern Plains and lower Mississippi Valley as we go into the Tuesday evening time frame and Wednesday morning. Speaking of Wednesday, we're going to see a little bit of a lull for any organized severe weather, but there could still be those popcorn type storms developing in the afternoon there on Wednesday, with plenty of instability and moisture in the southeast. 1 or 2 of those storms could produce some marginally severe weather. And what I mean by marginally severe is just up to 60 mile per hour winds, quarter-size hail, just your everyday type of severe thunderstorm threat. And then as we go into Thursday, more storms will start to line up across portions of the eastern seaboard. Another disturbance we're watching on Thursday up into the Dakotas and Nebraska, perhaps even as far south as northwestern Kansas, could pose a risk for more organized severe weather. And currently the Storm Prediction Center on Thursday, July 10th, has a slight risk. This is a level 2 out of 5 on the risk scale, where scattered severe thunderstorms will be possible in the central and eastern Dakotas, down into northern Nebraska, and perhaps this could be pulled a little bit further south in future updates as the Storm Prediction Center gets more clarity on the threat. But as we go into Friday, that same disturbance will push to the east. Could be more of an organized mesoscale convective system, a complex of storms that brings widespread damaging winds, hail, and embedded tornadoes, in addition to locally heavy rain across the upper Midwest, areas like Chicago, Des Moines, La Crosse, into Madison, all the way down here into, say, St. Louis. May have to watch out for that on Friday into Saturday, and then all as we go into Saturday, that'll lift more up into Canada, and maybe a couple strong storms in the southern plains there on Saturday and Sunday as we go into next weekend. Now let's look here at the ridge of high pressure. Already strong there in the desert Southwest. As you expect, it's the desert, right? It's going to be hot. As we go into the middle of the week, we're going to actually be seeing the ridge of high pressure expanding across areas of Phoenix, Albuquerque, up there towards Denver, and even Utah into portions of Salt Lake City there. And that means the heat will be on across the desert Southwest, even more on than what it is now. So here we go. Upper Midwest is the comfortable spot in the United States, into the upper 70s to mid 80s. Lower humidity here at times. Ahead of the cold front, though, into the Ohio Valley all the way down to the Gulf Coast and Southern Plains. We're in the 90s today. A couple record highs possible. 109 in Phoenix this afternoon. And as we go into Monday, 111 in Phoenix. And again, comfortable air across the upper Midwest, Great Lakes. Can't complain about this here in early July. On July 7th, upper 70s to low 80s, including places like Minneapolis, St. Paul, Green Bay, Milwaukee, and Chicago, over to Detroit. And then as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday, notice the heat is on. Maybe record highs for southern Arizona and even Southern California, San Diego, Phoenix, up toward Las Vegas. We're going to be seeing highs between 110 and 120 as we go into the middle of the week this week on Wednesday, July 9th. And that heat will just persist across the desert Southwest in an extreme fashion through next weekend. Now let's look here at the tropics. We have tropical, or at least post-tropical system, Chantal, which continues across portions of the Carolinas here today. It is continuing to move to the north at 9 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour, mainly a rain system here for the Carolinas, and it will continue to bring those rain bands in across portions of North Carolina. So Raleigh over there to Norfolk and Wilmington could continue to see some flooding rains as we go through the next 12 to 24 hours, and those rainfall totals could add up here. This is the National Blend of Models kind of giving you more accurate depiction of how much rain you can expect, and we're looking at anywhere from around 1 to as much as 5 inches of rain locally, including the Raleigh area in North Carolina. So be watching out for that. A lot of pavement in a big city like Raleigh, so a runoff of any flooding and heavy rainfall could lead to some significant flooding in those areas. Now the East Pacific has been busy this season. There still continues to be busy, as we have in orange a 50% chance of development, in the yellow a 20 to 30% chance of development. The National Hurricane Center is highlighted. This is a little bit further off the Mexico coast than what we've seen with previous systems, and it's moving generally into cooler water. So the hope, I guess, is that this system will really not develop into anything. And you can see over the next couple of days, any systems that develop will be named Gil or Henriette. Those are the next two names in the East Pacific. We'll be keeping a very close eye on that through the end of the week and into next weekend. Well, thank you all for watching. If you are here, make sure to subscribe to the channel, especially if you are not subscribed already. We do daily weather forecast breakdowns right here on the channel. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, get all this information and out to more and more people. What better way to do that than share this video with friends, family, and on social media? I really do appreciate it. If you have any comments, questions, and concerns, jot that down in the comment section down below this video. We're here 24/7, all day, all night to answer any and all questions that you may have regarding the weather. Thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your holiday weekend out there.